Well, stormwater runoff is the #1 cause of water pollution in the U.S. Just a quarter inch of rain on the typical American roof will fill a 55-gallon barrel. Now, similar rain on a megastore parking lot produces over 125,000 gallons of water that all runs off, which can overwhelm local streams with chemicals and sediment. But new, stricter federal regulations are clamping down on what flows off our lawns and our driveways. Joining me now is our Courtney Dehoff.
The Environmental Protection Agency, for the first time, is putting limits on the amount of stormwater runoff that's allowed to flow into our streams. Federal courts have ruled that the Clean Water Act needs stricter regulations. Regulations that could change everything from parking lots to neighborhood lawns. A widespread obsession is growing in America's neighborhoods.
I don't want to be embarrassed.
Perfect lawns.
When people walk by and see my yard.
Manicured and fertilized grass may look good, but according to lawn historian Virginia Jenkins, it's wrecking our environment.
Americans' attachment to the lawn is something that was advertised, marketed, imposed on people as an upper-class aesthetic that most people had to learn.
All she had to do was cut one strip around the outside of the lawn and then set the mower on automatic. From then on, there's nothing to do but drink a toast to a time saver that feels its way along.
I think most people assume that a lawn is a natural phenomena, that everybody has lawns, and that's what you're supposed to look like. In 1900, 75% of the people in the United States lived in rental housing. They didn't own their own homes. It was only with the spread of people owning their own homes in suburban areas that you got the development of the American lawn.
And with it, all the chemicals it takes to keep it green. In the documentary, Gimme Green, filmmakers take a hard look at an American tradition.
And you're mulching too, right? Get the mulching deck set up.
What do you do, to get the good grass to grow? You nurture it, you feed it, and the same is true spiritually.
Each year, Americans spend over $40 billion on their yards and use 30,000 tons of pesticide, much of which finds its way into our nation's streams. Well, controlling runoff isn't just about the lawns, but about all the pavement and cement surrounding it. Jason Vogel is a stormwater specialist at OSU and says people need to let their yards grow naturally.
Basically, you're trying to enhance natural processes that are happening on the landscape. You're trying to enhance infiltration into the soil, trying to enhance evaporation of water into the air, and trying to lessen the amount of water that runs off of the landscape onto streets and into pipes and eventually into streams. Urban settings do have issues with runoff and pollutants associated with runoff. And by using low-impact development or looking at stormwater management techniques that look at water at the source where it rains onto the surface and trying to control it there, then you don't have to deal with a much bigger problem.
In an effort to keep it out of the streams, developers as well as homeowners can take preventative steps.
It all starts with one lot. It's management at one residential homeowner residence or at a commercial place, but municipalities are involved with this, states are involved with this as part of their stormwater regulations. But it all starts at home.
This week and last week we put together a workshop for municipalities, different folks around the state on pervious pavement and designing and specifying pervious pavement.
Pavement that is designed to reduce the amount of runoff by allowing water to run through it.
Okay, that's pretty good. 14.7. Where you have a high amount of impervious areas, any rainfall that comes down is going to run straight off of that impervious area, the concrete or rooftops, and pick up pollutants, pick up sediment, and flow into our streams.
and wash the chemicals we apply to yards back into our water supply.
Well, stormwater runoff is the #1 cause of pollution from suburban and rural areas in our rivers. And Rob, the EPA is finally doing something about it.
So Courtney, what are just regular folks, what are they doing in the neighborhoods?
Well, Rob, for example, in Portland, neighborhoods are disconnecting their water downspouts to keep their rivers clean.
All right, thank you so much, Courtney.